Okay, Meta, your stop would have to be 235.50. You're maybe targeting like 238. So small little MA cross win here on Meta this morning. Not a ton of follow through on this play. Ended up getting a little bit choppy and just stopped myself out for a small win. But happy to keep testing this sort of technique and the strategy and happy with the small win. As it stands, right, risking $1.15 to make $1.60, right? Not good enough. You want to see probably a fake out under this little inside bar. All right, because then you're risking like 88 cents to make $1.80. That's a little bit more interesting. Here, I don't have the risk reward though, right? So I can't chase this yet. Need to make sure I get the right risk reward ratio if I'm going to do this. Tesla's kind of popped here, got stuck again just under that 167. So I'm going to just focus on this Meta for now. Right, and that one to watch versus one to trade, it's on a level breakout area, right? So if I was being told, analysis pre-market looked a little bit like a bear flag, I had no bear thesis, so I wasn't willing to trade that, but got indication of trend reversal here, right? Really good volume. Now a weak little pullback, right? Lowest volume bar of the day. Just a question of can things kind of sync up and give me a good risk reward entry. It doesn't feel like I'm necessarily going to get rewarded for that. So just waiting for a price to pull back into my entry zone here, right? As long as it's above that 236.40, I'm not getting that 2-to-1 risk reward that I need. So I'm basically looking to enter on an inside bar fake out here and then trying to buy an overreaction flush inside or under that sort of middle red line. It was like 236.40-ish. And just watch the reaction once we get into that zone, right? That MA cross, right? You got that breakout through, big pullback, or big breakout, sorry, small little pullback on really weak volume. You're looking for trend continuation. And then that like blue vertical line here, it's just an indication of MA cross. So I'm looking for MA cross higher, then a weak pullback after that MA cross. Wants to go double inside bar, no big deal, right? That's fine. I don't care about that. That's cool. So that second inside bar, right, decreasing volume here. So I'm not exactly being told that bears are particularly strong. So I'm actually adding to my conviction, right? If my thesis is I'm looking for a weak pullback, when I now see back-to-back inside bars, back-to-back decreasing volume profiles, I'm being told that there isn't a lot of momentum from bears here, and I'm looking for just my perfect entry. I can't chase entry here. Like, as much as I want to just buy that close and kind of run this thing higher, I still need to get that pullback into my risk reward zone. And so I need to have that patience and discipline to allow that to happen. ultimately I wasn't as disciplined as I needed to be with my entry. I got in maybe 20 cents earlier than I wanted to, or than the perfect entry price in this context, but still, you know, good enough once it was inside that zone. Kind of gross from the indexes. If it doesn't give me that risk reward, guys, I have no interest, right? Because I need to have a positive expectation of making money on this trade. The risk reward doesn't give me, if I'm getting 1-to-1, if I'm getting whatever, then I don't have a positive expectation of being profitable on this decision. Right? And if my expectation is over hundreds of trades, not just the one. Right? So if I take this trade 1,000 times, will I be profitable? Right now, no. But if I get a pullback under 236.40, then a lot closer to that ratio, right? Then the bigger pullback I can buy, the higher my expectation of being profitable goes up. I gotta be patient still. Be real patient. I can't front run this, right? Because then I just screw myself over. And it feels like if I try to front run this, it'll then flush and I'll get fucked. Okay, we're getting closer. Give it a sec here. Give it a second. All right, guys. I am in. Average price 236.23. Average price 236.23. Let's see if this thing can go here. Maybe a little bit early on my entry, but I'm okay with that. So I bought myself a 17-cent discount here on my entry. So ultimately not bad, but I feel like I could have bought in this overreaction flush that just happened here, right? Like this would have been perfect. If I can get that overreaction flush, weak bears, then that's an easy spot for me to then kind of get that bounce reversal. So I should have gotten that entry around that 235.50, sorry, 235.90 area. That would have been perfect. So a little bit early on my entry price. I should have waited for just a little bit of a bigger flush into that zone. But ultimately, I'm not going to beat myself up about it too much. Still got a decent entry price, right? Still bought a decent discount. But, you know, 30 seconds later, there was a bigger one that I could have bought and I probably should have bought. So that was the perfect entry. My entry was somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to be getting closer to perfect entry on my plays. If I buy that, you know, 235.90 area, I spend even less time in the red here, and it's probably a slightly less stressful trade. And I make, you know, an extra 300, 400, 500 bucks on this play. So that should have been my focus, but ultimately, you know, still had the right risk reward ratio. Still did everything okay, but it could have been a little bit sharper. Yeah, I'm watching, guys. I'm watching. Maybe a little bit early on my entry, but we got weak bears right into that zone, so I don't feel too nervous about this. This feels fine. So let's see if this thing can give me a little bit of quick follow through here, higher, push up, maybe back up towards like that 237 zone. If it doesn't, then okay, not the end of the world. Have a pretty tight stop loss here. 10 cents from the entry price, right? Not a big deal. Okay, let's see if it can go here. Let's see if it can go. Okay, let's see if we can get some separation here now. Looking good so far, though. Looking good. All right, I'm gonna look to trim some off here in a second, guys. I'm gonna take off about a quarter of my position at that like 237 area. See if we can get that separation. Come on, just a little bit more. One more pop here. One more pop. Come on. Yeah, I'm watching. Let's see if we can help us support here. We're struggling a little bit at that 236.50, so I want to see that kind of crack, and then we should maybe get that move towards 237 pretty nicely. The best volume there. I want to see that 50 crack, right? 236.50 doesn't seem to want to get through that kind of shelf. Yeah, that's what happens in the chop, right? That's what happens in the chop. Trust the thesis, right? Trust the thesis. Don't get too panicky here. Got a relatively good entry, so let's see if we can get just a bit more separation and then get there risk-free. Shame we couldn't get that entry on Tesla. That was the big mover. But never pulled into the risk-reward zone, so can't force that. All right, this is the one that moved. That's annoying. That's all right. Break even's not bad, David. That's okay. Don't now FOMO into this, right? Okay, you made a little operational mistake. That happens. Don't hold that against yourself. Not the end of the world. Yeah, don't do that, right? Never do that. If you messed up the trade, you missed the trade. Don't, because then it's just your emotions that are trying to trick you into making a decision, right? You're no longer trading it on a technical level. You're trading it because you feel like you're owed a P&L or you're owed a number or you're owed XYZ. So don't do that. Just walk away. Go make yourself a cup of coffee. Go pet your dog, whatever it might be. And look, if it runs now, it runs now. Not the end of the world. There'll always be another trade, right? And so you just got to make sure that your mental capital is where it needs to be so you can actually take advantage of that next move whenever it shows up. Right? But chasing now just drains the mental capital. So just don't do it. Never pays out long term. I like the rejection on the SPY too much here. And the weak volume. See if I can go. Oh, like indexing seems stuck, right? Doesn't feel like a super healthy QQQ. Doesn't feel like a super healthy SPY. Kind of debating cutting this here for just the 20-cent loss. Giving this a second, though. We're almost right back to the entry price. Okay, so see if this thing can go here. I'm going to try to take some off maybe a little bit more aggressively than I should. Just to get to that risk-free here and not have to worry about this. I don't feel like I'm getting a ton of index cooperation here. And so I just want to be rug pull proof. Only down 80 bucks, so I can't really complain too much. Okay, it needs to separate here, though. It needs to separate. Come on, Zuckerberg. Come on. Yeah, index cooperation is not helping here. They're stuck, so might be that the move just happened first 30 minutes. We could get a signal, and now it's just going to grind. So I'm watching how this candle closes. Here's still an inside bar. But I just don't want to get flushed on. That's really the moral of the story here. I want some separation. Give me that separation here. We're back above entry price, so if I can trim some off here in a sec, I might look to do that. But I want to see that 236.50 would be real nice. Yeah, that's fair, Jason. This would be a tough one to have in the backdrop if you got a meeting to deal with. Okay, watching closely here. I'm going to try to take some off. 236.50. 236.50 is my goal here. I'm going to close about half of my position at that area. I know it's not a big win, but I just want to get to risk-free on this. I don't feel like I'm getting the cooperation I want. So we're a couple cents away here. A couple cents. Come on. Go, 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 go. 4 cents. There we go. All right, guys. Locked in a little bit of profit there at that 236.51. And then stop loss now is going to be at my entry price. So let's see if this thing can keep going higher. But okay, we had to suffer through a little bit of pain there. But now nicely green. So let's see if this thing can give me some separation. So I just hated how this thing was moving, right? So I wanted to get to that risk-free as quick as possible. That 236.50 felt like it was being a little bit of resistance, so I wanted to see that turn into support, and was happy to trim some of my position there. Let's even keep getting a bit more higher here, a bit more higher, but happy with this. So entry protection, okay, awesome. We had to work on it a little bit, right? We had to deal with a little bit of ups and downs here. But let's see if we now get paid out for our discipline. Tough to trust that thesis sometimes when it's so bouncy, huh? And full disclosure, I actually closed just a little bit less than half of my position. And then next profit target here is going to be 237. So like we talked about, right, I wanted to see that 236.50 now act as support. So I was trying to judge what this candle looked like on this move up and over, and what the volume profile looked like on this move up and over. So that ultimately actually got me stopped out, or I closed my position here because I didn't see that volume step in and give me a little bit of conviction, and saved myself quite a bit of money on when this thing pulled back and then ran later in the day. Fucking indexes. Give me that pop here, Meta. Let's go. Don't like this. The reason I don't like this, doesn't feel like that. So we talked about that 236.50 acting as resistance. It hasn't really felt like that's resistance when it popped, has now turned into support. So it just makes me a little bit skeptical, right? That I'm going to maybe get a lot more follow through here. So let's see. I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm always an optimist, but I didn't necessarily feel like I got the perfect reaction right away. Maybe I'm getting that slightly delayed here now. But I just didn't feel like it. Yeah, like the resistance turned into support there on that pop through. Give me a few pennies here. Come on. Yeah, it's not great volume either, right? Decent spread. So kind of a doji candle, right? At support on decreasing volume. I'm not being told that bulls are particularly strong here. So I'm trying to find the courage, right, to cut this trade where it is right now and just lock in a small win. Ultimately, maybe I should have been a little bit greedier here. Took a bit more off early on. But I didn't feel like I got a fantastic move on that pop. And then ultimately, the trade actually pulled back quite a bit. Would have gone under my stop loss and then ran. So I think I did make the right decision cutting this early, even though it was pretty difficult to do in the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna close this, guys. I'm all out. Average price on my exit was 236.33.